Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Coaches Dugout podcast, a podcast for coaches by coaches. Now, before we start, don't forget we are on IG, we are on Spotify, and we are on YouTube as well. So please don't forget to subscribe, follow us, and do whatever. Just follow us, right? I'm Shasi, by the way, and I've got Mr.
I'm Isa, and then we have a very special guest with us here today. Just do a brief introduction. He is a former head coach of Chennai City in the Indian League. Took them to a league title in his first year in charge after almost being relegated in the previous season. Started out his coaching career in youth development teams in Singapore with Geylang, Tampines and also the national age group teams. Coached the Tampines S-League side in 2016 and also in 2017. Coach Akbar, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for being here, Akbar. You know, I think it's been a long time. The last time I met you, I think it was in 2011, 10 when we did our A license together, right?
Yeah, I think longer than that. I can't remember. Could be 2001.
How has it been so far? In general, how has it been? Especially this year, you came back and stuff like that. How has it been?
Actually, I came back since last May.
Okay.
2020. Because of the COVID in India and all that. So luckily for me, I managed to come back before it erupted to what it is now.
Right.
And ever since I've been doing some online cooking. I think that came out in the papers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just do it every Saturdays.
Yeah.
Then just send it to my regular customers and all that. That has been good.
Yeah.
And then I got involved in the Champions League for Tampines. And now I'm with them until end of the year.
Nice. This podcast, I think you already know, is about showcasing our coaches, and then every episode there'll be a theme, right? But today's theme, let's forget about the Champions League with Tampines and what have you, and your cooking exploits, right?
Yes.
we want to talk about a coach taking risk, especially going overseas. I think that is a big one, especially for coaches in Singapore. I think there's so much to learn. Now, can you tell me, because you went over to, I think you went to Philippines and then India,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
What was the circumstances that actually brought you overseas? How you got, contacts, and why take the plunge?
Well, after Tampines, as you know, Singapore, there's only a couple of clubs that you can go to. And there wasn't any vacancy at that point of time after my gig with Tampines.
Yeah.
So I wanted to venture out. So I was thinking, where can I go? So I tried, maybe I just go Philippines. Maybe I was also trying to do some business. I had some business I had on my own for quite a while. And then when I was in the Philippines, I met up with a couple of people, one after another, and suddenly I got to meet the owner of Global Cebu FC.
Right.
So we had a dinner. We spoke about football. He spoke about his team, and suddenly he said, "Why don't you stay for at least a month?" Then I said, "Okay, come and help my team out for a month," because they were in the AFC semi-finals, the ASEAN Zone semi-finals, Home United, and he said he was interested to know how did we beat them in the AFC Cup when I was in Tampines.
Okay.
That was a semi-final. The Singapore Cup, sorry.
Yes.
So we had a chat, and then the next day he brought me to the team, introduced me to the team, and Philippines, they had a host of stars with Misak, with Paul Mulders, with all the half-bloods and all that.
Yeah.
So he just introduced me. I was like, okay, and then he straight away told me, okay, you can take training.
Wow.
Then I was like,
On that day itself.
Then I was like, okay. And the best part is I came there for another reason. So I did not have my boots, I did not have my gear, and
of course.
nothing of that sort. So the day before, after the dinner, that evening itself, I went to a sports store, got my whistle, got my boots.
and from then on, of course, you stayed with them, and
Yes.
then now this is my thoughts, right? You went there without thinking of taking the team, obviously.
Yes,
So what happened to the family? Like you know what I mean? Like taking a risk of actually going there and then saying, okay, let me sign a contract, and just like that, right?
Yes,
No.
because for Singaporean coaches to get something overseas is very difficult, because overseas around our region, they always look to European coaches. They look to more established profile coaches with a better CV rather than just coaching a senior team in Singapore.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to let go of that opportunity. Actually, my wife was pregnant with my kid at that point of time.
Okay.
And then was about to give birth.
Wow.
So when they told me for that 1 month stint, Then I said, okay, I didn't even tell my wife.
Really?
Yeah. Then I just told my wife, okay, I'll be here for 1 month, not 1 week.
Okay.
Then that's how it happened.
Okay, this is my question, right? So I think you have this in your head as well, right? For coaches right now in Singapore, and should they think like that? Should they take the plunge? Because it's not easy, right? I mean, one is family, like you said, and then the thought of, okay, I'm a Singaporean, like you said, going overseas, taking a team where in the past maybe they could have gotten another foreigner from elsewhere, Spain and whatever, right?
Yes.
What was in your head?
I got to try because if without trying, you never know. You got to just believe in yourself, take the plunge. I mean, worst case scenario is you go back home. Like apart from the Philippines and for the India thing, I just went there, paid my own ticket, paid for my own accommodation just to talk to the owner. And then again, they also wanted to see me how I train. It wasn't like I got an agent, got a contract, and then
So
you just go over there.
Took that chance.
Yeah, I took that chance. It's like it's like on the job trial kind of thing.
Right.
So after they see me train, then sometimes like in Philippines, was the players themselves who went up to the owners and said they want this coach, because in
that's a
Philippines the
different
players
culture
hold a lot of say in terms of team matters and all that. So in India it was the same. After a week and then I got the job, then went on from there.
Wow. Okay. Speaking on your experience in India, you took over a team that almost got relegated. So what was your goal and the goal from the management when you took
It
over
was
that team?
Chennai City.
yeah.
Chennai City.
They almost got relegated.
Yes. Well, the thing is, when I first went there, it was only on the notion to help the existing coach.
Okay.
To see how can we save them from relegation. Was only 3 games left. Was very slim chance because we had to
Win all three.
at least win 2.
Win 2. Okay.
I've lose to 1 if we are still okay.
Okay.
So I think the first game after I took training, we managed to beat one team. I can't remember 2-1.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was a good start. Then the second game we played East Bengal, we lost 7-1.
Okay.
So everybody was like, "Who the hell is this fella?"
So the third one was a decider.
Yeah, the third one was the decider. After the second game, I think many had doubts. Who is this guy? Because they have a local Indian coach at that point of time, who was also a pro licensed coach, who was an instructor, who was very sought after or looked upon. And then this guy with just not much of a CV, Philippines, Singapore and all that, come here and then lose 7-1 to East Bengal.
Yeah.
So I just continued. I told the owner, never mind, don't worry about this. It's always a work in progress. As you know, always this coaches will always say this a work in progress.
True.
I brought it overseas as well. And then thank God we managed to beat Punjab, the champion team, the last game.
You beat the champion team at the last game.
Yeah.
Wait. This is the question, right? You said you went in for the last 3 games trying to keep them, in the league, and then second game you lost 7-1.
Yes.
What did you do after the second game, especially? Like, what would
Well,
you say to the team?
No, because they have been so used to losing.
Okay.
Before I came, so
Right.
it has become a habit, and I had to break the habit mentally. Within a short space of time for 3 games, tactically you can only shift a little, because you have not been coaching them for a while.
True.
But mentally you can do much.
Yeah.
So I had to shift their mindset. I had to mentally prepare them. I had to what I did with them was to talk to them individually.
Okay.
I spent a whole
Yeah.
whole day just to talk to them individually, trying to tell them what their roles are.
Right.
Okay.
What is it going to be against the last game in Punjab? Tactically, what is expected of you, and how we're going to win this game.
Yeah.
If we want to have any chance of winning this game, you got to do this.
Right.
Specific roles.
So basically, it's individual as well as it's mental up here, right?
Yes.
Because you only have one more game.
Yes,
And that's
yes.
it. You can't play around much, like you said. I think that's great.
I think it's a huge step because you're going to play. You're playing against the champions of
Right.
Yes.
at the last game, and then the
Yes.
odds are
Correct.
probably be against you and your team.
Yes, and then you lose, you get relegated, and then
Okay.
That's it. Bye bye, right?
bye for me also.
It's okay.
Okay, so now forget about that year. You took over the team then for the following season. Let's because their season is in half, right? Backroom staff. Because did you start from scratch? Did you get your own people, or you pick out the existing ones? So how did this happen, and how important is your backroom staff?
It was both. had existing ones like the goalkeeper coach, the managers and all that.
Yeah.
For my assistant coach, I personally wanted my friend whom I met in Philippines, Jordi Villa.
Right.
I brought him.
Okay.
Although he has a very big profile, he wanted to be with me since
Nice.
we were together in Philippines. So he came on board, and then credit to him that we went to Spain for a month to scout. We watched about 15 over games to scout players.
Nice.
It was through his contacts,
Nice.
and then this is where we got the players, and this is how we built the game model upon.
Right.
Because it was the foreigners that we got first, and then from there we fit in the locals.
Local players, yeah.
It's very interesting because I think you talk about head coaches and all. I think your backroom staff
Yeah, it's very
has
important.
to be top notch as well. I think they are very very important because if you have one guy who's gonna stab you in the back after like 2-3 games, and that's it, right? So that's very important. So you got this guy, and tell us more about this guy. What is he the one? Because we hear he worked with Pep.
Yes.
Jordi Villa?
Yeah.
Yes. He then after that you all know he went New York City with Dome and all that.
Right.
After about a month with me, he got the offer New York City. Of course, he had to go. Better than Chennai City, right?
Where is this Jordi Villa?
They left Flamengo.
Okay.
I think they'll get a gig probably next year back in the US. I'm not sure. All depends on Dome where he wants to go.
How good is this guy? Please tell us.
Well, the thing about him is he's very positive.
Right.
Okay.
His positivity is much more higher than mine itself, and with the profile like him, he does give you the respect. He saw me in Philippines when I was training. Actually, he was there supposed to be there only for about a month to coach the youth, and then he said he wanted to try to guide me and see how far I can go.
Right.
Then so we spent a lot of time, but he's very critical.
Okay.
Yeah, one-on-one he will bash you up.
Okay.
But he says things very respectfully, like Pep will never do this, Pep will never do that.
Okay.
You know, he's being respectful, but I know he was telling me you are an idiot, you shouldn't do this. So he's very critical in terms of my art of coaching. Very critical on the field.
Give me just one example. Like what does he say that changed or tried? to
For
change?
example, we had a game and I had my star player Misak. We had a certain plan for him on how to play on the flanks.
Yeah.
He was supposed to tactically be inside, in between the fullback and the left centre back.
Okay.
But he was mostly on the flanks.
Okay.
And okay, I let it go. Mostly on the flanks, and then he crossed the ball and we scored a goal. We won the game 1-0.
Okay.
Well, I was happy, because we are trying to go for the title
points
also,
and
trying to go
yeah.
into the playoffs and all that. Then after the game, I met Jordi. Then here comes Jordi. Then we had dinner and all that. Oh, Jordi, good today. Wow. Hey, thanks man, Jordi. Wow, it was a good game today. Then he stared at me and says, "What do you think?" I said, "Good No, that wasn't your game plan."
Wow.
I said, "Why? We won the game. What's wrong?" Then I had an argument with him. "What's wrong with you? We won the game." "No, that wasn't your game plan. Are you a coach or not a coach?" Then I said, "What are you talking about? We won the game. I prepared the team. I trained the team. But this is not what you train. This was not your game plan. This is not what Misak supposed to do."
Very specific and very detailed.
Yeah.
Game plan.
Then the last part, before disrespecting me, then bang the ball. This Pep won't do.
That's his favorite line.
Yeah, his favorite line.
Wait. This is the question I want to ask you, right? So would he have preferred with a draw?
No, he would have preferred we stick to the game plan
And see what happens.
and see what happens. And Misak to do what he's supposed to do. Because he said, this you got lucky.
Right.
It won't happen again.
It will
This
happen
is very
again.
very interesting.
Yeah, this you got lucky, and then you won the game. Then he explained to me, but he did not follow your instructions. He did not go accordingly to your game plan.
So again, this is by chance.
And then
What
he
you
said,
say,
if the game plan was followed, if the players knew what they're supposed to do, the score might be in your favor 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. You never know.
Okay.
Very interesting.
But if I let this go, then it will become a
Subsequently,
habit.
it will
Yes,
happen a
yes.
habit. Yeah.
And
So
then the
as-
next game, the
Yes.
same player might not follow your instructions,
Might not follow
and you
your
might have
instructions.
lose the game.
Or
Right?
I might be complacent thinking we are winning,
Yeah.
but this
This
thing
might
won't
cause
trigger.
bigger problems in the future.
Yes.
Okay.
When you're in a rut.
If you're listening in,
this is-
absolutely brilliant, right? Right from the first-hand account, because this is wonderful. So you seldom hear about this. We talk about trusting the process, which is a
Yes.
big word nowadays,
Yes.
big phrase. Yeah, Isa, you got a question?
Okay, speaking about the year where you won the title, a lot of changes has been made, and I think that you did very well. So what was
Thank you.
some
God
of
bless,
the what was some of the key changes that led to your championship winning title that year?
First was the scouting of the players.
okay.
It was very key
Okay.
because in Chennai City I didn't have the luxury of trying to buy a player from another club. We had to scout the player.
Which mean players who are
who were not even playing the
existing
league.
clubs and not playing the league. Okay.
Not even because my boss wanted players from the south.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
In India they are very favoured towards where they come from.
Okay.
So he wanted players only not say only from the south, majority from the south.
Majority, okay.
And in the end it was majority from the south. So we scouted the foreigners first. That was the model. And then thereafter we scouted the locals.
Okay.
We had to spend like 2 months scouting, holding trials in different villages, different parts of
That must
India.
have been very exciting, yeah.
Exciting, tiring, and mind-boggling. Because certain remote parts of India you go, the motel is what a motel.
Can I just ask you one question? Were there players who don't even play football? I mean, I'm just curious.
No.
It's
Most of
super-
them
yeah,
played.
most
Even
of
from
them,
the fishing, we went to a fishing village. All of them played.
But unknowns.
Yeah,
right?
unknowns.
Unknowns.
Typically unknowns.
Typically unknowns.
Never
Some
given a chance to.
Yes.
Any unknown then that you picked up is playing now, as in like.
I think many of them has got called up for a national team.
Beautiful.
One of them, not say unknown, he had been playing in the division. They call it. They have a state league,
Okay.
like Chennai League.
Okay.
So most of the players, when I scouted them, there was this Chennai League. So I was
Okay.
able to scout them from this Chennai League, like NFL.
Yes. Nice.
Yeah. So most of the players, 70% was from the NFL, but scouting outside was only 20-30%.
I see.
Yeah. It's never going to be easy. You take someone raw
Definitely,
and
yeah,
suddenly
yeah.
go into the senior team.
All
you take years.
the more your work is brilliant, right? To actually
bless.
able to get players who are so-called raw
Yeah.
diamonds, so to speak, right? And then to get them in, and I think that's wonderful, brilliant work, right? We talk about the foreign players that you got. Who were the foreign players that you got from? All of them were from Spain.
Yeah.
Who were they? They
They were Pedro Manzi, Nesto, then Sandro, Slava, and Nozet. Most of them came from the Canary Islands.
Nice. So all these guys, now it's very important. We talk about team bonding, team building. We talk about the locals, obviously, and then the foreign players, right? How did you get these guys to, because it's difficult,
Especially in India, because you have a different caste system. Even within the team, you have players from Chennai, who might be at loggerheads with the players from Kerala, and you have the north, some 1 or 2 north players. You have so many castes, you have so many different players with different mindsets.
Yeah.
And then you have these Spanish players who have not ventured out of their own country before.
Okay.
So the first time coming out. So, of course, the most important thing is to have the daily meetings with them.
Right.
It's not one formula, one shot. You have the first meeting, and then you lay down your rules, and you say, okay, you have to do this, you have to do
It's
this.
bit by bit, huh?
It's reinforcing, a lot of repetition, because with players, if you want to gel them together with the locals, first you have to nip it in the bud when you observe something that could destroy the team harmony. You straight away nip it in the bud.
Right.
And unfortunately, I brought a captain from Australia,
Right.
the goalkeeper,
Right.
who had some A-League experience or whatever. Brought him in, and then I had to let him go 2 weeks before
Wow.
our start of the game. He
Why?
was with us the whole 2-3 months
Captain saying
pre-season.
that he's going to be your captain.
I already made him the captain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I had to make a decision to let him go, because sometimes in a team you have to make the bigger decision so that you can have the team harmony and
I see.
whether it fits. I mean, the captain himself, he has his own strengths, he has his own weaknesses,
Weaknesses as well,
but I probably have made a mistake bringing him in to fit into this puzzle.
Okay.
So what I'm saying as a coach is I got to realize my mistake, that it wasn't that person's fault, it wasn't that player's fault, but I have to see whether this person would fit. So I had to catch that mistake, nip it in the bud. I had to let him go and survive with the younger goalkeeper for 4-5 games before I got another goalkeeper from Spain.
Listen, we've 20 minutes into this podcast, and we've gotten so many things, right? I think that was another good point, right? Coaches who are listening in, you're talking about how do you fit players into your setup, and then you might think, I made a mistake. How do you rectify that mistake? Because sometimes you gotta own up.
Yeah.
right? You got to own up and say, yeah, I made a mistake, and then we got to make that decision, right?
It's very important, like you mentioned, you've got to
Yeah.
make the bigger decision before things really happen. And
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and I think you wanted to ask about the recruitment process. What do you look for in a player?
Yeah. So I think you spoke about recruitment. Now I think for coaches listening, what exactly do you look for in a player when you are doing this scouting?
First, whenever I'm doing scouting, I look for. You see, it's easy to say you want character. It's easy to say
True.
that you want someone fearless.
Okay.
All the things that you see in the book in terms of scouting talent, character lah, performance, dribbling skills, whatever lah.
Okay.
But whenever I see a player, I look at his brains. How do I look at his brains? I look at, does he process enough information before he gets the ball? What does he do when he gets the ball? Before he receives the ball, you can see in a player that does the information comes
The
in.
cognitive mindset in the player, huh?
Yes,
I think that's- okay.
that's the information. Does he process all this?
Yeah.
If you can see that he process all this, no matter what the position, I pick him first.
Okay.
I pick him first. I don't specifically look for a centre back. When I'm scouting,
Okay.
it's different when I'm forming a team.
Yeah.
It's two different things.
Yep.
So when I'm scouting, I scout players with this cognitive mindset first. Obviously, must have in a senior team, must have the basic technical level,
Right,
blah blah
right,
blah.
okay,
The rest you can coach.
In a nutshell, smart players.
Smart players, but smart
With a football brain.
with the football
Okay,
brain, with intelligence.
Okay.
So it could be if let's say I scout 10 teams and I scouted 10 strikers, then so be it.
Can I ask you this? You talked about this, right? The football sense, so to speak, right?
Mm.
Is that born or nurtured? Because
I
I
think
have this feeling
it's
that it's more to the, it's born more.
I think it's both because those that who are born with it, maybe a certain percentage.
Right.
Maybe out of 10, maybe 3, 4, 5. You never know.
But with proper training and
With proper training and guidance,
yeah.
yes, then they elevate another level.
Okay.
For example, not to sound arrogant or anything, if let's say I would love to have, like example, a Messi come to my team, a Neymar come to my team, they are level 10, right?
Yeah.
No, my job is to make them level 11. You get
okay,
what I
the
mean? They
challenge,
can be
yeah.
they can be born with it.
Okay.
They can have what they have.
Okay.
But my job is to make them level 11.
And that's also a definition of a coach.
Yeah.
If you're talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it doesn't matter whether they are born with it or they worked hard
Okay.
at it.
Nice.
Okay.
During that season, right? Obviously, there's a turnaround. You won the league. Who was your key player? If there's one player you could choose? I mean, it's very difficult, right? I'm putting you on the spot. Is there one player that really you thought, just personified that season itself, like really made it?
I would say the local player.
Right.
One of the local player.
Yeah.
His name is Charles.
Okay.
I think he and another guy called Regine.
Okay.
They really made the season happen. In fact, Regine was the captain after I had 3 or 4 defensive midfielders were injured. I had to
Okay.
put the first one, second one, third one, and then Regine, who was actually a reserve.
Ah.
And then he came into the first team, and he actually had some experience playing.
Okay.
He was 30, and then he was on the verge of retiring, what have you, and all that. And then surprisingly, he did so well that the following year, even when I was not there, he was called up into the ISL, and he's
Beautiful.
doing very well.
Wow. Nice.
So I think that was key for me in terms of how they developed and went on further.
Beautiful.
So when you approach the season, maybe for just coaches to know out there, what was your system of play, if you would like to share?
Well, I started with 4-3-3, but
Okay.
with 4-3-3 is to give a base,
Okay.
to give a guide to the
Okay.
players. But systems are just numbers.
Exactly, yeah.
4-3-3, 3-3-1-3. I mean, I played so many systems, but
Okay.
the system is just a base to start off.
Okay.
Like how you're going to start with your driving and all that.
Okay.
Then after that is to educate them how to play the game.
Okay.
What do you look out for? Tactically, what should you do?
I see.
System is just a number.
Yeah, then just one more. What was your game model going in game after game after game for the players?
Well, my model of the game, like I said, first for scouting part, I had the foreigners and fit in the
Okay.
local players.
Okay.
Definitely, my model is not about like. I love for it to be entertaining,
Okay.
and for it to be entertaining for the fans.
Okay.
It's not about playing build up from the back.
Okay.
It's not about playing short passes. No, the reason why most of my teams that I take build up from the back is there is a reason to it. I would like to invite pressure. I would like to create that space behind the
Yeah.
first line so that I can proceed. I would like to control the game
Yeah.
so that I can control the outcome to a certain extent.
Was there the Pep influence down there with Villa's
Most
influence
definitely.
But
I
you
mean
see,
what?
sorry, carry on.
What I am today is credit to Jordi. It's really
that's the-
credit to him.
But what you're saying just now at the initial stages was, if I can, recall, it's not about playing out from the back because it's fashionable. Correct? It's because there is a reason behind it.
Yes.
It's not because you just want to play out because Pep is doing it, because this guy is doing it or whatever.
No.
There is a reason, like you said, and to invite pressure so that you can play,
Control the game
and,
as well,
and control
to a
and then
certain
play.
extent.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's that's a wonderful point. Brilliant. During that season, which was the best game you would say you played? Like from start to end, control. I'm sure you had one of those games where you think, wow, I just have to sit down and relax, right?
I think it was a game against Mohambergen. We had like 40,000 in the stadium. We're playing away, and then it was 1-1 at that point of time. It was 70th minute, and then I told my players. I just went up to the sideline. I said, we are not going to sit. We are not going to, because 1-1 at Mohambergen, everybody will be happy.
Yeah.
Get a draw, get a point, and get out from this place.
Very big team,
And get out from this place.
True.
Then I said, no, let's go for it. I changed tactically to try and make sure my number 10 plays little bit higher. My centre back push up a little bit higher. My full backs gets into the middle more. And then we won the game 2-1.
So again, I think you took that risk, tactical risk.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
could have
because
lost.
Some I think most coaches will say that I'm playing against a big team. I will just take the draw, go home,
Yes.
be happy. But I think you took that risk. You could have lost the game,
Yes.
but you took that risk to go forward. I think that's.
But
another-
the most pleasurable part to enjoy that moment was the opposing fans, because they were chanting my name
Wow.
instead of the coach's name.
Seriously?
Wow,
And then they were booing their own team.
that's the.
And then when I came out of the stadium, all the fans like, hey, come to us next year, come to us next year, come to us next year.
This is great.
But,
that would be another story if
their
they
fans
approached you
are
that day and asked
fanatic.
you to come for their training the next day.
I get killed, boy.
I want to ask this question, and brilliant. That was brilliant stuff. This is another question I wanted to ask you, right? And you spoke about the slight tactical changes you made to go at Mohambergen. We're talking about the number 10s pushing up a little bit, defense pressing up. I see this Pep's influence in the fullbacks, tucking inside. Tell us and coaches who are listening in, what is the reason behind the fullbacks coming in inside instead of going out wide? Because even in possession of the ball, you see Pep's teams, you see Kyle Walker and Cancelo drifting inside instead of pushing on wide, right? Is there any reason?
Well, the main reason is the balance in attack.
Okay.
Some would call it rest defense. So balance in attack, I think, is key for me. I call it balance in attack because when my fullbacks, either one or both, they come inside, it depends. Sometimes both, sometimes one, depends on where we are attacking.
Okay.
So that when there's a transition, they be able to actually snuff out the transition.
Brilliant.
It is not foolproof. I mean, many people don't understand that coaches have a tough time with transition. Is very tough.
Okay, definitely.
Even the top coaches in the world,
It's happening here in Singapore.
very difficult with transition. To stop transition is
Right.
very difficult.
Right.
But we can try our best.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I have my fullbacks inside, and obviously in the attacking part, I want some numerical advantage in the middle
Nice.
to have that +1.
Right.
Okay,
Yep.
brilliant. Okay, when you started to take the team, when you won the title that year, what was your expectation actually? What was your goal?
My goal was actually because we started off relegation.
Okay.
My goal was just try to get the team in at least maybe highest as possible, maybe top 6 or top 7.
Top six.
How
Yeah.
big was the
I
league?
think 11 teams or
11, okay.
12 teams.
So somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, somewhere in the
top
middle.
6 and
Yeah.
champion is different, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
But what happened was I think it got everyone by surprise
Yeah.
with the way we play.
Okay.
It took everyone by surprise. It took the opponent coaches
Were you
by
surprised?
surprise. Yes, of course.
yeah.
So when
Because
did
I
you-
wanted to win every game that I play. That was my target.
your game plan.
That was my
So
plan.
when do you
Yeah.
actually start to believe that, look, the title is there, I'm getting closer
Maybe.
to the title?
Last 3 games towards
Last
the
3 games,
season.
oh,
Yeah,
that's-
last
Yeah?
3 games.
Last 3
Yeah.
games?
And how
Be-
close were you
Yeah.
from the second?
Actually, we could have run away, but the last third game against Churchill, we were actually it was 1-1, and my right back played the ball to the middle, and we lost the ball. We lost the game 2-1.
Okay,
If we had won that game or drew that game, we had won the title 3 games before.
Okay.
So because of that, it took to the last day.
Last day.
Last day.
And the last day against Punjab, if we would have
Against
drawn,
Punjab again?
if we have drawn the game,
Okay.
we would have lost the title,
Wow.
and we were on top from second week onwards.
Okay.
That was the team that you beat to stay
Yes. Now we are the team to
Coincidentally,
beat to win the
macam,
title.
But going into the last game, you needed to win, right? Like
Yes,
you said, right? Did
we
you
need to win.
did you ever think before the game, like, oh, here we go again? It's like, okay, we're not gonna do this.
I think you posed a very good question because in Tampines I was always second with the league and cup.
Okay.
In Philippines I was also second in league and cup also.
Right.
So I was thinking, oh shit, am I fated to be second? Is this happening again?
Right.
Can I never ever win a title? So, and the best part was my player, the foreigner, the left winger Nesto, he was suspended.
Oh,
And
that
then
makes it even
he
tougher
had
for
like
you at the
7
end, yeah.
assists, 9 goals. Then my centre back, the foreigner Slava, while warming up, injured.
Was Punjab also going for the title as well?
No, Punjab.
They weren't on that. Okay.
They weren't. I think they were going for the AFC slot or
So
something.
they are also playing for something.
Something, yes.
Yeah.
They also playing
Then
for
the
something,
second, during warm up, my centre back, the captain, I mean, he got injured.
During warm up.
During warm up.
Everything was going against you and
Here-
your team.
here we
yeah.
go again.
So 2 foreigners out.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, make the quick switch and all that. And then within 10 minutes, 1-0 down.
Wow.
That was everything stacked against you. Yeah.
Yeah, and then in the dressing room, what you call it, my captain, Manzi,
Okay.
sorry, Slava wasn't the captain, my captain, Manzi, he was so distraught. Everybody was distraught at halftime because I can understand. We've been on top from second week onwards.
True.
And then to lose it
Yeah,
at
just
the
like
last
that,
stage,
yeah.
at the last week, is so disappointing. And
Okay.
everybody thought we have lost it.
Okay.
My captain was actually in tears.
Okay.
Okay.
He just couldn't understand what is happening. So I had to, it's not about riling them up. I have to reason with them what's going on in the first half. Tactically, nothing much that I can say to them that we have not already done.
Right.
So mentally, I had to tell them, look, why not? Let's go out there.
Okay.
Let's end up with every attack with a chance at goal.
Okay.
So I said, let's try to do this and see what happens.
Mm.
Let's just focus on this. Forget about whether we're going to win the game or not.
Right.
Nothing
Every
so much
attack-
on tactical during the halftime
Nothing.
talk, yeah?
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
focus
Okay.
on every attack.
Okay.
I want you all to finish with a chance at goal.
Yes.
I mean, it's something that maybe you can say all the time, but I guess at that moment
Yeah.
you needed that
Because
kind
still
of
have 45 minutes to play.
yes,
Yeah.
you need that kind of talk rather than so many
Yeah,
other
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think processing in their mind will
Listen.
be something else,
This
yeah.
is very good to hear. Nice to hear because as coaches, right? Like you said, not many will be in that position
Mm.
to win a title in the very last game in a huge setting. We're not even talking about the Singapore League or whatever. You're talking about it's a
Yeah.
big setting and with 40,000 crowd. It's so easy to just get carried away, And what do you do when you're down at halftime? What do you say? You know, some people might just go in there and talk about tactics here and there, but sometimes it's the simplest of things because, like you said, nothing can be done in terms of sometimes right, just
Tactical,
maybe
yeah.
minor stuff and
Yes.
So it's a very valuable insight. To put things into perspective, from relegation or going to be relegated and then winning the title, right? How big is this for Chennai City and for you individually?
I think it was huge because our owner was elated. Nobody from the south has ever won
One, okay.
a title before. Not many players from the south are in the national team. In fact, at that point of time, I think was none.
Yeah.
And then everybody looked up to the north.
Yeah,
The Sunil Chetris. Everybody looked up to teams
I
like
think not only just in
Bengaluru.
football. I
No.
think it's basically
Bollywood or what? Talking about Bollywood.
I mean,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
sorts of things. So
Right,
I think, that's
Yeah.
okay.
So it's much sought after in the north. In the south maybe cricket and all that, what have you. So it was huge
It
for
changes
someone
things.
from the south to actually win, and most of our players are from the south.
Yeah.
Almost 80% of them.
Were you made the mayor of Chennai City maybe?
I thought it would
Almost.
have happened, but no
Almost
lah,
give you
joking.
a crown or something like that. No?
No, I think they wanted to make a movie out of it, which they did with the girls team, but with the Chennai City logo.
Okay.
With you? As in,
No. They interviewed me.
are they going to do
What
a
are the
movie
happenings?
about you? They should,
no,
Definitely,
Maybe
yeah,
a statue as well.
They did with a very famous South Indian actor. I can't Vijay or whatever his
Vijay,
name is. Yeah.
right? Okay.
It's a football movie, but with the Chennai City logo, but
Okay,
girls team.
I watched it. by
You
the way.
watched it?
It's on Amazon, by the way.
Oh, is it?
It's on Amazon. So that movie is about
Yeah, they spoke to me. There was this cast that came and just talked to
Okay.
me and some of the players and all that.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we didn't know that there was going to be a movie about it. But I'm sure it's not
Because it's
everything
very
about us.
inspirational. I mean, to
Yeah.
get this kind of thing. It's a Leicester City done in India.
So could you
Yeah.
walk around Chennai City
Yeah.
like without being manhandled or anything?
No, because
streaming fans.
in Chennai, still cricket is number one.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
still.
Right.
But of course, if you go Coimbatore, certain parts and all that, where I mean, for us, we are the lower tier club, so minimum we can get maybe 8,000 fans. If on good days we can get about 14,000 fans. So there are fans who are very fanatical.
Okay.
And then the following year when I was there for a short period before the COVID, I remember we lost one game.
Yeah.
Home game, and then when I was walking out, then one of the fan club, one of the fan
Yeah.
came to me. You know, I thought in football, you're always good as your last game.
Correct.
I said, basket, they're gonna run at me.
Yeah.
But then he came. Then I said, oh, I'm sorry we didn't win this game
Yeah.
today lah. Then I said, no, coach, you gave us what we wanted last year. What more can we
So
hope
it's
for?
nice.
So that was something I was like, wow.
I think that's.
Yeah.
But personally, how did it do for you? Like you know.
I think on a coaching level, it upped my belief that I could do something. Obviously, as a coach, I always thought that I have so many criticism on I always end up second
in Singapore.
in Singapore.
Yeah.
Especially in Singapore.
So has anyone come up to you say good job or
Yeah, many,
Yeah.
and normally that happens when you win something.
yeah?
Not when you lose
True.
something. They always say that, oh, maybe you're there but never there yet.
Not good
Maybe you should
enough
learn.
and
Not
all
good
this
enough.
nonsense.
Maybe you should learn some more. You should do this. Maybe you should do that. But I guess in terms of coaching, you just have to put it out there,
Okay.
risk it, do it. But it's easier to say pre-COVID. But now with COVID, as coaches, we have to think about a lot of angles before actually going overseas.
Before Isa asked his question, I want to ask you this. I've got we just posted something yesterday, and somebody asked this question. It goes up to you. Any, like you said, pre-COVID and stuff. Any future plans in terms of going overseas? Is there one?
Definitely, if there's an offer, I would think about it, but not in the current climate. Because going overseas is easy, but what if you have a lockdown in that country?
Yeah.
Many things can happen where you're alone, you're away, and then it was mind-boggling for me to be stuck in India 60 days not doing anything.
So you
different.
experienced that, right?
Yes. So it's easy to say we want to go. Of course, I would love to go to continue, maybe in another country, in another place to venture out again. But with this COVID thing, I got to be realistic.
Yeah. This same person also asked you this question. Where to? Maybe next year? Any clubs yet?
I do have a club that I'm going next year locally.
Okay. Right,
Yeah,
right.
So I'm just waiting for it to be officially announced.
Okay, beautiful.
Congratulations.
Congratulations and
Thank
good luck
you.
with that as well. Isa.
Yeah.
Okay, massive respect to you and your team for what you have done, with
God bless, yeah.
India and everything. What advice would you just want to give to our listeners, our coaches who actually have that inspiration to try something abroad, to coach or maybe get a position overseas, post-COVID, of course?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think the most important thing is if everything is okay, climate is okay. What coaches can do is to just give it a try. Because for us Singaporean coaches, it's not so easy with our CV. We must just get the job.
Okay.
Not
So
many
that
bodies
part,
so
how can
lucky.
they actually possibly elevate themselves?
Apply? Just apply?
Yeah.
Blind, just blindly apply. No, seriously, this is a serious
No,
question. Can I just
apply
apply?
and but apply sometimes the clubs might not entertain,
Okay.
or I mean definitely go through an agent. Like even my India gig, there was an agent called Brian. He was the one who was connected to the owner, and through him I had to say, can I go on my
Contacts,
own? Yeah, if I didn't say that I wanted to go on my own,
Yeah.
I'm sure that would never have happened.
Yeah.
If I didn't say, can I go and try out? So I think the word here is try out. Are we willing to go out there and be ready to be humiliated, be ready to be embarrassed if we don't make it,
Yeah.
be ready to go out there and it's like a waste of time, be ready to spend, I think money most of the coaches would spend. It's not that much, I guess,
Yeah.
if with no disrespect to anyone.
Okay.
But if you are willing to face all this,
I think if you didn't take that risk, none of this would happen.
Correct.
none of this would happen. Of course, jitters, nervous, first time training with
Okay.
all these people, for sure. You'll be thinking, wow, what would they think of me? I'm a foreigner coming here, and a foreigner with our rankings.
Yeah, of course.
When I was in the Philippines, when I took the team, I wouldn't mention the name of the player because he's my friend now. He asked me, Singapore is ranked 170 plus at that time. Philippines was 124 or something.
Yeah.
Say, what in front of the team. What can you
The team
do?
you ask
Yes.
you that. Okay.
What can you do? What can we learn from you that we don't already
Yeah,
know?
please tell us, Akbar. No, because this is
Yes.
how you handle stuff, right? So how did you handle that?
So I told him, yes, there is a ranking. I told him, do you know there's a ranking for teams, right?
Yeah.
Spain is number one.
Yeah.
Can you just please show me? Can you just Google?
Yeah.
Is there a ranking for coaches from which country they come from?
Okay.
So he couldn't answer me. Then I wouldn't
was a
say
quick
what
one,
happened
yeah,
next.
yeah.
So I'll just say, blank out. Come, let's train.
and also you talk about ranking, right? It doesn't mean that you are going to win the World Cup. You may maybe ranked number one. I think Belgium
Yes.
was ranked number one. And Italy won it, right? So
Yes.
it's ranking, but listen, this has been a wonderful episode, right? Because
Yeah.
you learn something new. And listen, you put me in a spot like whether should I go out to coach elsewhere? It's ridiculous, right? Because there's so many things to think about.
Yes.
Family, whether I'm good
Yes.
enough, because
Yes.
doubts come racing, and like you say, we are from a little island, right?
I think
Who
the
would want to
culture
take
is
us?
set down here that we have to be safe, we have to be secured, and
Yeah.
not taking that risk out there.
It's
But I think,
Yeah.
And you know, I think you have opened up doors as well, because firstly by going out, and secondly by winning things, not only being
Got
second,
blessed,
right? And then you know, people like Aidil Sharin
Yes,
just
yes, he's
made
doing very
name
well there.
again, right?
Yes.
Going into the Malaysia Cup and finishing second, I think.
Yes, he's doing well.
You know, so you've opened up doors. Can you see more Singaporean coaches going out there? But I
Oh,
think
I'm
it's the
sure.
Plunge, isn't it? They've
Yeah, it's
got
a
to-
plunge. It's a plunge, and I think it's because I believe the coaches in Singapore have a certain credible level that can compete. I mean, in India, I competed with most established coaches from Spain, from EPL, Chris Brown, whatever Phil Brown, sorry.
Chris Brown is the singer. No, I think you'll be influenced by your son listening to Chris Brown. Right. Yeah.
Phil Brown hear this, he will get mad, boy.
Yeah.
And I think Bala was with me at that point of time.
Where is Bala, by the way?
Is he still there?
I think he came back already.
came back.
He's back in
He's
Singapore.
back, he's back
He
in
changed his
Singapore.
name or something in India.
Yeah, he's now known as Satya Sagra. Don't know bracket king or not.
He probably has a crown back in
Yes,
Singapore.
yes, yes.
So he's back in Singapore.
He's back in Singapore.
Okay, Satya, aka Bala, if you're listening in, shout out to you, my friend. Yeah, carry on, please, Akbar.
Yeah, and then in fact, when we were in the Super Cup, we beat Pune City.
Yeah.
Phil Brown was the coach. His staff came into the dressing room after the game,
Okay.
and then because
Bottle
we
of
were 10
wine,
men,
you
we
know?
won. They had a bottle of wine. They
Yeah.
brought it.
Okay.
Came, he shook my hand, he shook both of our hands, and said, "Wow, we've never seen such a team."
Beautiful.
Because obviously the Super League team supposed to beat up full sail.
Yeah.
Even when we played in the quarterfinals with Bengaluru FC, it was titled the champions of India because Bengaluru was champion of ISL, we were champion of I-League,
True.
and we beat them 2-1.
Yeah.
So that really sets the scale, and the way that I think we scored the goals, and how my right back actually backheel in the box
Wow.
to set up from our own defensive third.
He learned it from Sundram lah. Back
I
heel,
think
oh.
so.
Yeah.
And I learned it from Sundram. It's credit to Sundram.
Right.
So that set things up for you know how it happened in Chennai City, and I hope the coaches out there just believe in themselves, and the art of coaching, I think, is very important.
Okay. Wonderful piece of advice down there. Yeah.
No problem.
Akbar Nawas, thank you so much
No problem.
for
Thanks
being
for
on
having
the Coaches Dugout podcast. I think it has been very
Definitely,
educational,
yeah.
and I totally enjoyed this. You know, and you know, listen, this is exactly what this podcast is all about, right? To actually educate and to reach out to coaches who are listening in or watching this on YouTube. It has been absolutely wonderful insight into how you handle things overseas, taking the plunge and stuff like that, right? So again, thank you so much, Akbar. This has been the Coaches Dugout podcast. It's Isa Halim with me today, as well as me, Shasi. But before that, please do not forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. We are on Spotify as well, and follow us on IG.
And one last thing, we
Yeah.
wish you all the very best
Yes.
in your new venture.
Exactly.
Wish you the best and hope
No
you
problem.
Yeah.
But one last thing I would like to say
To who? To Chris Brown.
to Chris Brown, who's listening in. I love your songs. No, one last thing I'd like to say is at the moment, even with what little I've achieved, the reason why I say little is because it's never ending learning process.
Yeah.
I still have to learn every single day. Whatever I've done, I don't think so it can be replicated with anywhere that I go. It's always a ever-changing process.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same. And what I've done, one is God bless, and second thing is not an achievement that I should crow about it. I should keep my foot on the ground. I hope all coaches that are listening in we should try to better ourselves every day.
Nice. You know what? I think that is the perfect ending to this podcast. I shall not say anything else. Please join us for the next episode, but don't forget, just watch us and please follow us. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Akbar. Thank you.
No problem.